Oh my
Hey,
gosh, we're here.
we're here. Are we live, Jim? Are we live?
We are live, Tim. We are live now more than ever, as you like to say.
Now more than ever. Hey, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. I am Tim Sohn with Sohn Social Media Solutions, hanging out here with the trees and the rivers and all the nature things. And so excited for today's show. Jim, do you want to take it away and we'll get
yeah,
rolling?
yeah, I'm very excited today. We have a great guest, someone I've wanted us to have on the show for quite a while. Mike Gingerich. He's a consultant business blogger. And in fact, I thought he lived in Lima, Ohio, because he's always doing a live show with our good friend Jessica Phillips. And so, yeah, really excited to dig into his topic today. But before we do that, Tim, did you have something you wanted to share with us?
I do. Yeah. I just wanted to share quickly with you guys about a workshop that myself and Nancy Barrows are giving on October 21st. And I'm just going to play this video that Nancy created and I'll put the link in the comments for you guys. And here we go.
Hey everyone, I am here to share with you about a complimentary professional workshop that Tim Sohn and I are hosting on October 21st, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Some of you might be thinking, professional workshop, and she's showing up in a t-shirt, her hair undone, no makeup on, glasses on her face. Well, I'm here to tell you that professional is personal. And in our workshop, Why Personal Content is Your Most Powerful Tool, Tim and I are going to share with you why using personal content increases your engagement, increases your network, increases your business, increases your chances of achieving your personal goals. And so come along with us, enjoy the ride, spend some time, and let us share with you how to make personal content your most powerful tool. Look forward to seeing you. Registration link is in the comments.
Awesome. That looks really cool,
There we
Tim.
go. Yeah. Links in the comments. Encourage you guys to sign up. It's a complimentary workshop, like Nancy said. But let's get going, Jim. Where do we go from here?
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about content marketing and SEO for growing leads online, because who doesn't want not only more leads, but good leads? And so Mike has been doing this for quite a while. And so, Mike, we're excited to have you here today. And so, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into this whole, because you've been doing this blogging stuff for quite a while. So tell us, how did you get started with all this?
Yeah. I think probably the first time that I really began to take it seriously was in 2013. So we had a software that's called TabSite that is used to run Facebook contests and things like that. And so rolling out new features, we needed a way to blogging was the way to kind of share those, release information on those. And we just saw that we watched the metrics on those things, and those posts began to rank for Facebook type marketing topics, and then they were drawing traffic in. They were staying like evergreen content. They stayed at the top, and they just continued to rank. And the more posts we put out, then and linked within the other ones, the more those began to just have even more power, and that kind of like that tree with a root system, it just began to spread out. So we kind of took that concept, and we were doing that with our primary web software business, Digital Hill, and then we were doing that for clients. And along the way, I also had kind of just my personal blog, MikeGingerich.com, and I also was doing that same type of piece. And so just learned over time, watching some metrics, watching things, watching rankings, watching leads come in, of how to do that. Kept fine tuning that process. But there was a couple key instances where, a certain post, like I had one post on MikeGingerich.com, which was how to get all notifications from a Facebook page. And it went live, I want to say maybe it was 2015, something like that. And it just exploded my traffic. It was like And so what it was, if you notice that, how to get, so people were putting in, how do I get all notifications from, Facebook kind of thing. They were searching for that. So it was answering a question. And that post still ranks in like the top 3. Like literally for years, I was number 1 ahead of Facebook for that term.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So I think they've overtaken me now, but I'm
Well, they have
still
a
in
few
like
more followers, that's all.
the top 3 for that term. And so it was just been a journey of kind of watching all these different pieces and things like that, and seeing my MikeGingerich.com business blog kind of evolve from just Facebook or just social media to business in general, to the point where, without trying, I have 5,000 visitors a week, kind of thing. And so that's we've seen success in content marketing that can rank you for the key terms people are searching for, and then getting, it's just kind of the approach there. The more people that are relevant, that if you can provide content people are searching for, and the higher volume that you can get of those people to get over to your site, take a look at your things. If your site's set up right, you're going to get more conversations, more leads out of that.
Wow. And so, Mike, before we jump into the questions, though, I want to bring up something that you do that I have become fascinated with, because I caught it on, I think, your Instagram, maybe your Facebook stories as well. But you're not only a triathlete, but I guess a duo. Is it? I don't know if I'm saying
Yeah,
it. Duo,
duathlete. Yeah, duathlons.
duathlete.
Hmm.
And so, how long have you been doing that? And that's really, I'm impressed. I just have to say, because
Yeah.
I could maybe do the 2, but the 3, that the swimming thing, I think was like, I don't know if I want to swim.
Right, right. That's always the challenge. I mean, I get out of the water and it's like a win right there. I made it, kind of thing. So, but the duathlon is for those who don't necessarily like to swim. So you run twice instead of uh, swim, bike, run, which is a triathlon. You do run, bike, run, and I got into those. I think my first one was around 2015, and I did it kind of on a health journey. Like I'd had some health issues, been diagnosed with kind of early onset uh, arthritis,
Mm.
and made some radical changes and in my life, and kind of coming out of that. I kind of set a goal. I saw this thing and I was like, I don't know. I because at that point in time, I couldn't do like a marathon. It was just like too much on my body. I've since gotten to that point where I can, but at that point in time, I was just like, I need something maybe that mixes it up a little bit. And a triathlon, I thought, okay, a little bit of swim, a little bit of bike, a little bit of run. Maybe I could do that. And so I did it once, and that got me hooked. And
Nice.
it's just kind of like the personal, and there's a community out there, when everybody's out there. I mean, you're racing, but you're kind of doing it together. I mean, you're on the bike, and you go by somebody, or somebody goes by you, and it's like, hey, keep it up, good job, good work. And there's just uh, a great sense of accomplishment with the diversity of the sport for me, to be able to do, because I really like the mixture. I think that's the beauty of it for me. It's not just running miles and miles and miles, that type of thing, but to be able to get out of the water, switch to a bike, have to, and then get out there on the bike and love that, the open roads, and then be able to get off the bike and kind of have to switch into running mode. Um, just something about kind of the uniqueness and of the putting those elements together and accomplishing that I love.
That is awesome. I've got to get back into at least the running part, and maybe I'll add the bike next. I always think someone's going to run me over, but we'll see. So, Tim, you want to start off with question number 1?
Yeah, sure. So, Mike, why is it important to have a way to grow leads online?
Yeah, I think let's just go back to the pandemic, right? Okay, if your physical location is shut down, what do people turn to? They turn to the web, and people are spending time online. Every year since the last decade, we've just seen a growth in people using the web more and more. And there was a stat that at one point in time it was around 65%. This was a number of years ago. People would search for something online before they would ever make a purchase, and that percentage has gone up to over like 85% now. There people are looking something up online before they're making a purchase, and so you got to be represented there if you want to be relevant today, and so this whole process of growing leads online is critical because we're just in a digital era, and people are for whatever they're trying to get their questions answered online, and if you can be the source that can answer those, and a lot of that times that's through content, then they're going to look at you further and consider you. That's the lead part.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, because Mike, obviously with you being a blogger and even with you talking earlier about that article regarding Facebook notifications, I think I've even seen the statistic that I think is 92% of people start their search on Google. So it's not like they're going to Facebook or Instagram or, even LinkedIn looking for information. They're going to the
Yeah.
search engines. And so that's where, you got this huge advantage if you have a website and you're actively blogging, that really have a chance to rank. I know that Chris Stone and I have done that with Dealcasters. We use a redirect, dealcasters.live, and we've seen now if you search for Dealcasters, our show is the first thing that pops up on Google, and so it is really you know a great way to make it easy for people to find you, because I mean, even like right now, Facebook is maybe not showing our show. That's why we're on all the other tubes. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube as well, because
Yes.
can't rely on Facebook, and you own your website. Um, but yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, 85%, and even the trust factor, right, Mike, of people trust third party, or like your content, my content, just as much as they would one of their friends in their network. And so
Yeah.
it's really quite an advantage.
Yeah, if you can get into that, top 5 position, top 3 position for certain terms that you want to rank for, so that when somebody types in that kind of relevant question on Google, which you said, Google, I mean, over 90% of market share of search, boom, right there. And if you can get the ability to appear there's a trust factor, because there's a trust factor that says, hey, Google has said this is one of the top 3 sources right here, and so they're scanning those 3 and making a quick selection, and so the more that you can be in there and show them something relevant, the more traffic that you're going to get to your site.
Yeah,
But again, with that trust factor in mind, they're coming over there saying, hey, this was one of the top ranked
right,
pages.
right. Yeah, Google's saying this is good stuff, really,
Yeah.
when they put it up there. That's a great point. So, Mike, what type of content marketing works best for growing leads?
Yeah. Diverse question, diverse answers, because I think that it can depend. Um, my expertise largely is in blogging, so is in written content, but content marketing that works best for growing leads is diverse, because you can have great videos that rank well on YouTube, but also on Google, that can grow leads. So that's an option. But I think that if you break it down further, it basically is content that answers a question that people are searching for. People are out there basically online for what? 2 reasons: to either solve a problem or be entertained. Largely that they're looking something up, or they want to be entertained. And in the case where they are wanting a problem solved, that's what's important to them. And content, the best type of content for growing leads, is something that begins to answer that question and give them confidence that that you have an answer that you can provide to their problem.
Yeah,
Hey, Jim. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say, Jim, I'm curious for you, what kind of content marketing works best for you for growing leads?
Well, I would say what's working at the moment is video, but I also can see where having a blog could be important, and I have to figure out, so it's good to know, right? Mike finally said, you know what, started in 2013, he took it serious. So I know I've got to get to that point as well, because I do think that people do like to read information. They don't always want to have to go to a video, right? Because then maybe they print something off. But I like what Mike said about, and this is what businesses have to remember with their content. You are a problem solver,
Yeah.
right? Nobody really cares about you. They want their problem solved. So you have to think of that I'm solving problems first approach, as opposed to like, hey, look how great I am. And I love that you brought that up, Mike.
And again, I think, Jim, to what you said, I think that you got to know your audience too. Who are you trying to reach, and how do they like to consume content? And so that's what's relevant. So it might be, those videos. It might be a mixture of those two types of pieces there. I've seen a lot of successful content where, they kind of give you the either or, where you search for the term and you go over there, and either it's a web page with a YouTube and video embedded, so you can watch or you can read, or it's a YouTube video with a long form description in it, so that you can kind of get the information there as well. So I think that there is you can do a mixture of those type of things, but it's important to know who that target is and how do they like to consume content. That's going to be, guide you in terms of where you should put some focus and some energy.
Right. Tim, what about you? What's your content marketing that rocks for you?
Yeah. So one example could be this workshop that we just played the video before about, and the majority of people that are signing up are people that either tune into this show or they tune into What's Good Wednesday or Shout Out Saturday, that both myself and Nancy work on as well, produce and co-host and all those things. So we do those shows every single week. So I think the consistency of the shows really helps with, attracting people, and then people get to know you over time, and then they sign up for, products you have or services, things like that. So live video has been really effective for me, especially in terms of courses and workshops and things like that. Have you seen that as well, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and kind of what you said there at the end about, for your courses and workshops. So again, it's if they're and have an openness to a course or a workshop, and that's online, then they're probably, that audience is going to be interested in watching live videos, right? So it's, it's just kind of tying into that, knowing that audience of what will they consume, what's their mode that they like to take it in with. And and again, it's not like if I put it out there, they will buy. This is just a part of the process that helps them. And the one thing I like about content marketing is kind of the longevity of it. I mean, like, as I said, that one post that's still ranking high, 6 whatever years later, kind of thing. And so again, with paid advertising, you can have that burst. You can reach that target exact audience that you want. You can get in front of them, but it's going to stop as soon as you stop paying, right? And so there's value in that, but I think there's also value in kind of laying this foundation with content over time that continues to be out there and searchable. Somebody might have that question 2 years from now, and if you've done your work right, they find you through that search, and they come over there, and they can get to you then. And so it's that's way out there in the future that you don't know about, but the content out there gave you this real estate that was wide and deep.
Right. I think that's awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick 15 seconds to hear from our friends at StreamYard, and then we're going to be back with the next question for Mike. And if you've got questions, make sure to put them in the comments so we can ask Mike.
And we are back with Mike Gingerich on the Tim and Jim Show, and we're talking all about content marketing and SEO today. Jim, what's her next question? And we should also, thank everyone for tuning in. Nancy Barrows is here from LA. So many of you, Elise is here from South Africa. We're global
awesome.
today, Jim.
Yes.
And
Well,
everyone
take
else
question
is here.
3 away, Tim. Let's go.
Yes. Number 3, Mike, what is the best way to get started to make sure we are helping our SEO rankings?
Yeah. A ton can kind of go into that, but if I try to break it down, I think that helping our SEO rankings. So, you gotta kind of do a starting point, right? So I think there's maybe one of the best ways to do that, maybe to get started. What's the foundation? Is you need to have Google Console integrated. This is the former Google Webmaster Tools, but you need to have Google Console integrated onto your website, because that's going to tell you a whole lot about what Google sees with your site, which is what's important, right? Because 92% of people are doing searches on Google. So Google Console will give you some information about what Google thinks is page speed, page experience, are URLs indexed. It just shows you kind of the history of what's going on, and so then you kind of know where your starting point is. And some of those things you might be able to take care of on your own. I use WordPress a lot. With a number of plugins can help you with those things. Some of those things you might need to get a developer to say, hey, I need to, something needs to get tweaked in my page, the coding for my website to improve this speed that Google is talking about, and they can do those kind of things. So once you've got Google Console, then I think the next thing is, consistency in content. You need to be able to get content out on a regular basis. You can't just be hit or miss. And I got 2 posts out this month, and I got 1 that month, and then I got this. I think that you need to get consistent. And I always say, for thinking about blogging, you need to think about at least a minimum of 1 post a week. Now you have to understand within that post, then this is something you can do to help your SEO rankings, is kind of the format of that post. So Google's going to want at least 600 words in that post. So if you're writing in a Word doc, think of that as at least 1.5 pages, maybe 2 pages. That's going to get you 600 words. They like long form, so longer than that. 600 words to 2,000 words would be great. But what's your keyword phrase that you want to have this post go after? And maybe you need to look up, keyword phrases. You can use tools. What's one? Uber Suggest by Neil Patel. His site, Uber Suggest, is a tool where you can do some keyword research. There's a free version that you can do those kind of things, but you want to identify. So a lot of times businesses, get stuck and they think, okay, I want to rank for my product name. Okay, that's great. Your product name, you should rank for that. But is that what people are searching for? Or are they searching for, the term or the problem that it solves, and not your brand name? So you want to get connected to those phrases, and keyword research can help you do that. So I think SEO is going to be 600 words regularly, at least once a week. You're going to have to get that keyword phrase, identify what you're targeting. It's got to be in the title. It's got to be in the first paragraph. It's got to be in the last paragraph. And there's going to be some related content in between. Make the content scannable. So if somebody doesn't have time to read, but they want to go down through and they want to see those, if your post talks about the 5 ways to help X, they can scan those headlines and see, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe not reading the guts of that, but those are all tags as well that Google's looking for. Do they support the title? Do they support this? Okay, so it's going to help it rank for that term. So a lot goes into that. Hopefully that's some nuggets that can be of value.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think it even reminds me too. I use TubeBuddy with my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And it'll actually tell you that, right? When they have like this SEO tool within it, and so it'll tell you like that title needs to be like within the first 200 characters of your description. And I had never thought of that before. And it's like, oh, okay. And when you do that, it'll, help you with your score. I also love the fact that a lot of people don't realize this, but not only Google Search Console, but Google Analytics are free.
Yeah,
So there's really no
absolutely.
excuse not to add that in your website. And if your website developer doesn't know how to do it, find another web developer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are the two tools. You should have analytics for sure, because that's just going to tell you what's happening with the traffic, devices that people are using. Are they on mobile? Or are they on desktop? And then, Google Console dives down a little bit further into some of the SEO factors of that. One other thing I would mention, just another free tool, if you have a WordPress site, is Yoast
Mm.
SEO. And I love Yoast because it helps you optimize any web page, any blog post easily, kind of with a red light, green light system. So
Mhm.
basically, it's gonna you put in your content, and it's going to say, nope, that's a red, and then it'll tell you, it says, hey, it's not your. If you said you wanted to rank for this keyword, but it's not in your title. It's not listed at the beginning. And so you put those things down, it'll turn to yellow, and you keep going and working through their list, and it'll get to green, and boom, I've got an optimized post that I'm publishing.
Right. That's awesome. So Mike, the final question, because I know I want to respect your time today. What are some tips or technology that can help us succeed in growing leads online? I know you've mentioned some Google stuff, but I'm sure you have some other things you like.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of the pieces that I do use there. So, TubeBuddy has applications just across the way, because it crosses over. It wants to help you rank for that. So even their free version, giving you some of those keyword. You can think this is the good keyword phrase, but a tool like that or Uber Suggest will say, that's okay, but actually here's what people are searching for. And it'll tell
Mm.
you, those things. That's a beautiful thing to do. Um, another one that is valuable is Ahrefs. H E um, Ahrefs. Ahrefs.com. And so that will give you kind of a scoring on your site of domain ranking. And you can watch it over time. It gives you, they have some other tools, some free, some paid, that because you want some tools that'll help you evaluate things. But again, one of the big things is Google Console, just because of Google's dominance, of the search category there. What Google says matters. So they rolled out this page experience algorithm change this year. It started in the spring, and so some sites began to lose ranking. So what's going on? Google tweaked their algorithm with page experience, and it was like,
Mm.
what? It's like factors. How fast does this load on mobile? How easy is this to navigate on mobile? On all those types of factors, and so sites could lose rank because of that. It's not like, hey, if I rank, I will stay ranked. It is, an ongoing process. And so I think, just keeping up with what Google's doing. Google Console is really a great tool for that. And then you got to be consistent with your content. So it's about content, and then keeping that website infrastructure up to date to meet kind of Google standards.
Yeah, that not and that, of course, it's like all these other platforms are always tweaking the algorithm.
Yeah.
So you can't just set it and
Of
forget
course.
it. Which is unfortunate. So, Mike, I'm sharing your website on here. Tell us a little bit more about your website for the folks at home.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah, so it's geared to be a resource for small, medium-sized business owners. It has a business tech, business marketing focus, but does also navigate into some other topics, setting up your LLC, all those kinds of things. So it's geared to be a resource and an ongoing library of business topics for small, medium-sized business owners, leaders, marketers.
nice. And what's your favorite? I've got your Twitter and your IG handles also, but what's your favorite platform right now as far as social goes, Mike?
I spend the most time probably on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's kind of shifted for me. But if I would, navigate out where I am spending time, it's probably there.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for being here this week. And Tim, you want to talk a little bit about our guest for next week?
Yeah, sure. I'm excited. Our next guest is Raquel Boris, and she's going to be talking all about personal branding next week. So we're excited to have her join us.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thanks again, and thanks everyone from watching from all over the world. I'm glad we were finally able to get you on here. It's a nice problem to have when you have to schedule people out, and it's not like who's coming next week sort of thing. But and we've enjoyed had a chance to be on your show with Jessica, and that you guys do a great job. And that's what Tuesdays at 4.
Tuesdays at 4 Eastern. Yeah,
Yes.
Magnet
Yeah.
Marketers.
Yes, yeah. So that's another great show. Definitely worth checking out. And if you want to learn how to get in shape, you could also contact Mike. Follow his journey. Duo-oppling and try doing a try. I'm still just at the 1. I got to get to 2. Well, that's but you give me a challenge, Mike. I like challenges.
All right.
So Tim, any final thoughts for today?
Just thank you so much, Mike. This has been great. And also a reminder about the personal content workshop coming up on October 21st. If you go to bit.ly/personal content workshop, the link is, I'll put it again in the comments, but would love to see you guys there for that free workshop. But thanks, Mike. And thanks everyone for being here.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you next week. Take care.
You bet.
Bye.
Take care.